Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever time you're watching this. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today on this holy Saturday. I have a message that I want to talk to you guys about. Many probably don't want to talk about it, many or have not, whatever have you. They rejected you, but God didn't. I'm going to say that for you one more time. They rejected you, but God didn't. How many of y'all came into or born into or hung around a lot of people who have rejected you? And they treated you like you were a second class citizen. They treated you like you were no one. They treated you like you were someone that was replaceable no matter what, even though God says you're not replaceable in my eyes because I called you and I chose you. So your girl Morgan has always been around a lot of people that rejected me. And it started with my parents. And it started with my parents because they were rejected. They were unwanted. They were unloved. And so many of us get with people in relationships that do the same thing to us. Now, whether you want to receive that, whether you want to accept that, whether you want to acknowledge that, if we were rejected and abandoned and mistreated by our parents or by someone who was really close to us, we choose people in the relationship sometimes, not meaning to, that does the same thing, that treats us wrong, that rejects us. And I know all too well about being rejected. I was rejected in relationships. I was rejected from friends where one minute they're saying, "Oh, they my friend, they got my back, they're gonna hold me down." Like I always held them down. I always was there for them, but they were not there for me when I really needed someone to be there. And then when I showed them the me of who I am, the love of who I am, my true heart is like, oh, we don't want that. We don't want the lovey-dovey side of you. We don't want the kind side of you unless I can use that to my benefit, to my advancement. And God chose us from the beginning. He knew that he wanted us on this earth before. Remember Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I knew who you were. So before he formed us in our mother's womb, he knew us. He knew who we were. And man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. So 1 Samuel 16:7. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. The heart. A lot of people look at us, but they don't never look at our heart. All they look at is, how can I take for them? Or how can I treat them? How can I harm them? And it's not really the people, it's the spirits inside those people. So as my big brother said, he did a message the other day. He said, I forgive the people because it was the spirits that was operating in them. But I don't forgive the demonic forces that was using for them to attack me, for them to hurt me, for them to mistreat me, for them to fumble me. So many of us are connected to or been a part of or are born to family where all they're doing is, I don't want her around. I don't want him around. It's something about them. I don't want them around because they had their own hurt. They were rejected. They may have gotten a relationship with someone and they gave them their whole heart. They gave them their whole mind and their soul. And they did everything they were supposed to do. They thought they were supposed to do from what they knew. Because remember, when you are born, unless God connects you with your family and friends that can truly tell you how you're supposed to be on this earth, we really don't know. When you're a parent, you don't come out knowing how to be a parent. That's a learned gift. That's a learned character. That's a learned thing to have when you have children. The same thing when you get married. The same thing when you get in relationships. If you don't have the blueprint, you're going by either what you didn't want when you were experiencing and seeing other people being how they were, or what you wanted. And you said, well, if I give them this version of me, then maybe they'll love me right. I remember asking someone not recently, I said, what if God came down here right now and said, why did you not choose her when he first gave you to her? And they said, They said, well, God wouldn't do that. I said, God wouldn't do that. So that tells me you know God more than we do, more than I do, more than he does. Well, my God wouldn't do that. And I said, yeah, your God. Nobody really truly even knows God. He's the only one that never rejected us. When he chose us, that was not a rejection. Sometimes we actually reject ourselves because we're thinking, oh, I'm not going to be good enough for them, or I'm going to be too good for them. So I don't want them. I don't need them in my life. They have no value to me. And as I tell people all the time, even at my job, even in relationships, even amongst my family, when you meet Morgan Reese, you meet value. When you come in connection with Morgan Reese, when you come in the same room with Morgan Reese, you see value. You see an asset. You'll never see a liability, because I was not rejected by my father. I was rejected by people like you. So because I finally came into this healing process and this healing journey, and I know who I am, and as he distinctly said, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. God sees my heart. God knows my heart. What is your heart looking like? Is that why you're constantly being rejected? Is that constantly why you're being abandoned? Because those spirits is operating in someone else. Is either they thinking they can compete with you, and it should not be a competition. When you're in love, it's not a competition. When God puts you in a family, because remember, God places in all these families that we're a part of. And I ask God all the time, this family, you sure this family? Because this family wasn't giving me what I thought I was supposed to get when it comes to love. What you've been through didn't disqualify you. It prepared you. So for me, my journey of being assaulted, sexually assaulted, my journey of being child abused, my journey of being in a relationship for so long where I experienced a lot of hurt, I experienced a lot of pain. I overcame domestic violence for so long in that relationship for 17 years. Every relationship I get in, when I say, hey, I love you, I think you love me, but even if you don't love me, I love you, and I'm going to show you I love you. And it never worked in my favor. That was because God saw my heart. So he knew when I connected you, I connect this person with you, you got gold. You got a diamond in the rough. You got a rare, precious diamond, which is me. So we have to start thinking in our own minds, our own hearts. I'm a rare, precious diamond. They don't want me. That's on them. That's not me. I know who I am. I know what kind of heart I have. I know how I can love you. Rejection can make you question your value, but your purpose was not determined by people. Your value was determined by God. So again, Jeremiah 1:5, for I knew you before I formed you. So God knew who you was. God knows who he called you to be. Remember, rejected, but chosen by God. Rejected, but chosen by God. God chose us. So when he chooses us, he chooses a good thing. Now, if you say, well, God wouldn't do that, he wouldn't, if he gave me, that's because your mind is not realizing that you're not looking at God. You're obviously looking at the devil, because the devil don't want love. The devil don't want peace. The devil doesn't want kindness. Those are the fruits, right? Those are the fruits. Kindness, love, peace, forgiveness, having a good heart. I mean, literally having a good heart. We all were born with a wicked heart. Period, point blank. That's what it is. We all were born with a wicked heart. But it's up to you. When you came to the age of understanding, how did you change your heart when you knew and you see things were wrong, or you heard people were saying this about that person, or you saw someone being mistreated, you saw someone being abused, you saw someone being violated? What did your heart tell you to do? What did your heart say? Hey, is that good, or is that right? Is that wrong? If you saw somebody take someone's life, is that good? Is that right? Is that wrong? You know, as my big sis wrote, she did her message, do the right thing. When we're going to start doing the right thing for the right reason? Nobody's doing the right thing for the right reason right now. And that's because a lot of people have been rejected. You were rejected at work. You figured, well, I know I'm a qualified teammate. I had this to bring. I had this to offer to the table. I'm a great asset. I'm never a liability. And you get overlooked for a promotion. You get overlooked for a raise. You get overlooked to be on a project, to lead a project. You being overlooked to handle this major deal. You're being overlooked because Those people that are overlooking you, it's the spirits that's in them and saying, nah, I don't want her on my project. Nah, I don't want him on it. No, I'm not going to get them a promotion. I'm going to keep them down as long as they can. But God chose you. So if that was the room that you walked in that was not meant for you, he said, I got something better for you. I prepared a place for you. There's a better room. When you walk in the room, you'll know that's your room. You'll know that you belong, because with God, he does not reject us. Man rejects us. Woman rejects us. Children, if you have children and they become adults or they're little and they reject you. But God never rejects us. God never threw us away like we were trash. And you're feeling, well, I got rejected. I was going through this and I was dealing with this and they just discarded me like trash. But God doesn't see you like trash. That's the devil telling you all these things, putting all these things in your mind. Oh, I don't think I could be with her. I don't think I could be with him. Look where they at in life and I'm not where I'm supposed to be. When that person get with you, if they truly your person and if they truly know who you are and they truly see your heart, they'll say, I don't care about that. Come as you are, even with the Lord. He tells us to come as we are. This is Holy Weekend. Tomorrow is Resurrection Sunday, not pagan holiday of Easter. Tomorrow is Resurrection Sunday. This is Resurrection Weekend. You know why? Because Jesus rose. He's risen. The Lord is already here. That's why things are happening on this earth the way it's happening. And he's coming for the people who were rejected. He's coming for the people who were abandoned. He's coming for the people that was mistreated. He's coming for the people who were fumbled. He's coming for the people who was unloved. He's coming for the people who people would not receive their forgiveness. When you do something wrong to somebody and you harden your heart and you refuse to hold yourself accountable for the things you did and just say, hey, my bad. I'm sorry. Forgive me. You hold on to all that. Now that he's here, he said the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. He coming for us. He coming for those where he's seen your heart. He's seen our heart. Even though no matter what they did, they still love. No matter what they said about them, they still love. No matter how much they treated them. Because remember, God hears things that we don't hear. And then when we do hear, and God says, don't respond, still love them and kind. Still forgive them, because that's what Jesus did. When Jesus was hanging up on that cross, they spit on him. They put a crown of thorns on his head. So the thorns was piercing in his head, blood rushing down his face. They pierced his hands. They pierced his feet. They whipped him 39 times because the world, those people rejected him. But God, he said, Lord, Father, forgive them, for they knew not what they did. While they were hurting him, thinking, okay, I'll get rid of him. He ain't nobody. We're gonna reject him. He's saying he can deliver this from that, and he do miracles, and he's telling things about me that nobody else should know but me. He's prophesying to me. He's speaking to me. He's speaking to my heart. Oh, he ain't the Son of God. He's not the Lord Jesus Christ. I am. I'm better than. And the Lord still said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Think about how many people have done things to you. I would say, for my own personal journey, for Morgan Reed's journey, my entire family on both my mom and my dad's side, I had to forgive each and every one of them that hurt me, beginning with the people that God used as vessels to bring me in the earth, which was my mother and my father. I had to go back and forgive the men that I gave my heart to and created 3 beautiful children. And in kind, God gave me 3 beautiful grandchildren from them. From all that hurt, from all that pain, from all that disappointment, from so many rejections. When I'm giving you my heart, my all and my all, even when we're together, I'm giving you my all and my all. I'm not seeing your flaws. I'm not seeing your failures. Only you are seeing it. And when people see the worst in themselves and they don't see that they're better, and if somebody gives them their heart, that's rejection. They've been rejected, whether it was rejected by their mom, whether it was rejected by their dad, whether it was rejected by their grandparents. I'm going to tell you, for Morgan, your girl Morgan, I didn't have grandparents in my life. I didn't have really great grandparents in my life, except my great grandmother on my mom's side. But grandparents, I didn't have grandparents to guide me. I didn't have grandparents to love me. I didn't have grandparents that see me as their grandchild. If anything, they fumbled me. They rejected me because I was their grandchild. They rejected me because I didn't look right. They rejected me because I didn't talk right. They rejected me because I didn't act like the rest of the cousins and the rest of the grandkids did. They rejected me, but yet and still, I still had to love them. I still had to forgive them. I still run to them and still get them hugs and say, you know, but I still love you. Even when they would push me off. I remember when I was growing up and I would run to my mom and I said, Mom, I love you. Okay, yeah, whatever. That was rejection, but I was still running to her. I still said, well, I know this is not her. I know there's something going on, but I don't know what it is. Then as I got older and then God started healing me, he started showing me this is not her, but this is what she was dealing with. These were the spirits that she was attached to. This was her hurt. This was her pain. The same thing with my dad when he was alive. And they created this young lady that no matter what they did to me, no matter what they said about me, no matter how much they treated me, no matter how much they rejected my love, how much they rejected my kindness, how much they rejected my forgiveness, how much they rejected my heart, I still say, you know what? I still love you. But that was because God chose me. They refused to choose me. Family refused to choose me. Friendships that I thought was really true friendships refused to choose me. Relationships that I was in that refused to choose me. God still chose me. So that's what you need to say to those people. That's when you need to remember, always consider, constantly say in your heart and your mind and your head, you rejected me, but God did. God chose me. God chose me. So I got an assignment. I got something I got to do. Because if he didn't let me go through all this. He didn't let me go through all this hurt. He didn't let me go through all this pain, this disappointment for nothing. Look what Jesus went through. Jesus went through all of that because he's rejected even by his own. His own mother rejected him. His father, which was Joseph on earth, he rejected him. Judas betrayed him. Peter betrayed him. He was rejected by more than just the people that was in that took his life. He was rejected by the disciples that was walking with him, the apostles, the evangelists, the preachers, the teachers, all those people back then that was walking with him. He was rejected, and he still said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." He still said, "Forgive." Even while as he was losing his life, he still said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Because he wasn't looking at the outer. He wasn't looking at he was looking at the spirit that was inside him. How was their heart? And it goes back to your heart. When somebody rejects you, that tells you their heart. That's showing you their heart. When they say, I don't want your forgiveness, I don't want your love, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Especially in the church, there are a lot of hurt people right now in the body of Christ because somebody rejected them. Whether it was their family, then they went to the church, and the church, the house of prayer, the preacher rejected them. The deacon rejected them. The elders rejected them. The deaconess rejected them. The usher boy, they want to be on the choir. They get rejected anywhere and everywhere they're going. They're sitting in their hurt. That's what's happening right now. There's a lot of people right now on this earth, in this world, that are sitting on a lot of hurt simply from rejection. But God said, they rejected you, but I chose you. Remember that. God said, they rejected you, but I chose you. He chose us. So when they reject you, that's their loss. Oops. That's like, oh man, I guess we should have treated her well. I guess we should have treated them well. I guess we really should have listened to them. I guess we should have really looked at their heart and not look at the things that I've been through. And because I went through those things and I've already experienced them things, I'm going to automatically think they're just the same. Or because you got that jealousy spirit in your heart. You got envious spirit in your heart. You got competition spirit in your heart. You got covenant spirit in your heart. You have unforgiveness in your heart. The rejection is coming from you did not forgive them people and you won't let it go. So because you didn't forgive them and you won't let it go, you're still walking around with all that. So anytime you get with somebody else, what you doing? You're doing the same thing to them. Well, they rejected me. They mistreated me. They didn't love me. I gave them my all. I bought them this. I bought them that. I did anything they wanted, and they still rejected me. They don't. So you pass that on. That behavior gets passed on. But God, He chose you, and He don't choose everybody, because He said many are called, but only a few are chosen. Some people are walking in rooms they're not supposed to be in. They put themselves in that room. That's because they put themselves. God didn't put them in that room. God didn't choose them to go in that room. Or they went in that room before their time. Or they jumped in that relationship before time. Or they took that job before time. So what God does sometimes, and I'm going to tell you, girl, Morgan knows all too well about that. When I was in a place that I wasn't supposed to be before time, he would allow things to happen and allow things to take place because he said, that was not what I chose for you. I have better for you. I heard your heart. I hear your cries. I see your tears. And he bottles up each and every one of our tears. When you pray, I hear you pray. So when I asked up those people, what would you do if God came down here right now and said, why did you not choose them when I brought them to you from the beginning? And for those people to say, but God wouldn't do that. You don't know God. Don't tell me you do. You can go to church 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You can be on the you can serve on the usher board. You can serve in the music ministry. You can serve in the street. You can give food to the homeless. You can donate to as many chairs. You can tithe all you can and do all you want. But if you still got a heart of unforgiveness because you were rejected or because you were unloved and you were unwanted, he says, depart from me. I know you not. God does not choose everybody because he see the heart. Even when you think he don't, so when you say he wouldn't do that, that means he see your heart because you don't know me. He said, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. So how do you really know me when you're not even operating the way you're supposed to be operating when I brought my child to you? When I sent my child, when you were over there crying and praying and said, well, Lord, send me a good woman. Send me a good man. Give me good children that's going to love and respect me and I can love and respect them. And then he give them to you. But because you're still sitting in your rejection from someone else, you're still sitting in your rejection and your hurt and your pain from something that happened at your job, from someone that happened in your family, from something that you lost. When you're still sitting there and that unforgiveness, he can't give you what you want because you're rejecting it. You say, man, I don't want that. And then you come back crying later and praying later. Lord, give me this. Lord Jesus, I know I need it. I know I turned it away the first time, but I'm ready now. And then he'll send it to you again. And what you do, you're rejected. Many of us were rejected. God's children, many of God's children, chosen children were rejected. Did not realize that's who I was until he started healing me. He started delivering me. I am chosen. I'm not one of those people that was not loved. It's just I was running to the wrong people, even with friendships. And didn't have many. And the one I had forever, it abruptly ended because God said it was time for that to come to an end because he saw the heart. He saw their heart. Even when I didn't see their heart, he saw their heart. Even with relationships, he saw their heart. Even with my parents, he saw their heart. Even with my children, he sees their heart. And if their heart is not right, he says, okay, I got to remove you. Since they won't change, they're walking around with a reprobate mind, a double mind, unstable in all their ways, indecisive. What I do love you, but I really don't love you. Well, I was rejected, and you was rejected too, but you seem to want to love everybody. You still want to forgive everybody. Yes, because that's the heart of Christ that's in me. I have the heart of the Lord. Because even when they nailed him to the cross, when they put the nails in his feet and the nails in his hand and a crown of thorns on his head, and they were watching him, they were spitting on him. They would treat him any old kind of way. They would call him all kind of names. Oh, you are a false prophet. You're not really a God. Because if you was a God and you're mad because of what you did. Because God's thing is he wants all of us to be saved, not fake saved. Not sometimes when it's convenient for you saved. Not as I'm coming in the door, I'm perfect, I'm pristine, clean. You see my suit on, you see my dress on, my flossy hat, and all the like. When you go to Resurrection Sunday tomorrow in church, watch how many people get all super dressed up and dolled up, and you like, oh, look at them. But look at their heart, because everything glitters ain't gold. Everything dressed up in a nice suit, smelling good, looking good, dressed up in a nice, cute, pretty dress. hair done, nails done, feet done, got no care in the world. Look at their heart. Morgan was rejected. Lord allow, I'll be 52 years old in September. I was rejected from a lot of people for 52 years. I was unloved, unwanted, abandoned, misused, abused, mistreated. And you would think, oh, she got a hardened heart. No, my heart's still soft. And I pray for the people who've done those things to me, that God softens their heart so they can open up their heart to receive what he has for them. He wants us to be loved. He wants us to give love. He wants us to give kindness. He wants us to respect people. The Lord really wants us to forgive. We're walking in a world where nobody wants to forgive. We're walking in places and spaces where you got hardened hearts, reprobate minds, double minds. You don't know if you want this today and that tomorrow. And God gives you what you want and you reject it. God hears your prayers. He hears your thoughts. Even when man can't hear your thoughts. I'm trying to man know your thoughts if you say them out loud. God hears our thoughts. But most importantly, he look and see our heart. How is the heart? And as they said in the old school church, is all hearts and minds clear? A lot of people walking around with unclear hearts, unclear minds. They refuse to forgive. They refuse to see the heart of the people that God sends them. Because when God sends his chosen, he's sending some good stuff. When you see and you meet Morgan Reese, you're meeting good people. You're meeting somebody with a loving heart. Because I forgave. I didn't hold on to all that anger. I didn't hold on to all of that bitterness. My past, that's what it is. My past. That's in my rearview mirror. I'm looking towards the future, but I'm looking for what God has planned for me, what God has promised me, what the Lord has said, I have this for you. Because favor is fair. God is not of chaos. God is not of lies. Every time you open up your mouth and it gotta be a lie, then God is not your God. Devil is your God. Satan is your God. Tell the truth, shame the devil. That's your God. Is every time you open up your mouth and you say, I don't love them, or you always got something negative to say about a person, or you always gossiping, because again, that stems from rejection. That stems from the spirit of abandonment. Again, all those things, that's not a God, because he said, I didn't reject you. I chose you. I didn't refuse you. I chose you. Man looks at the heart, at the outward appearance. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at our heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. How is your heart? You being rejected? Look at your heart. Did I do everything right? Did I forgive them? Did I still love them? Did I still treat them in kind? Then next, you look at their heart. If they rejected you, then it shows their heart. It shows who they are. It shows what they're going through. It's showing what they've been through. And they're refusing to get healed. They don't want it. Because remember, we all got free will until we don't. Especially if we got an assignment on us. Especially if we are chosen. Especially if we're called. If you're the devil's child, he said, well, I'm gonna leave you where you at till you're ready. But at the end, he already said every, not just 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He said every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess that he is the only King of Kings. He's the only Lord of Lords. And he don't want us to come to him perfect. Morgan Reese is not perfect. Morgan Reese never said she was perfect. Now, to other people that met me or know me or has been interacting with me, they'll say, "Oh, she thinks she's better than everybody. She thinks she thinks she." That's that jealousy spirit in them. That's that envious spirit in them. There's nothing I can do about that. That's in the Lord's hands. That's in God's hands. Long as I don't change when they reject me, long as I don't change when I hear what they say about me, when I've heard what they said about me, when I hear the whispers, when I'm told what was said, when God shares with me what it said, I still forgive them. I still say, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because I know who I am and I know whose I am. It's time for you to know who you are in the Lord. It's time. It's time. Because we were chosen. If you were truly chosen, truly. Because remember, he knew you before he formed you. But it was up to you how you lived your life. And at the end of the day, even if you lived your life wrong, humble yourself. Repent. Nobody's walking in humility. Everybody has these prideful spirits, these boastful spirits, these egotistical, rebellious, stubborn. And that's witchcraft. I remember someone called me that. They said, oh, she's a witch. I don't know what. And that hurt me. That was a rejection. I said, I'm a what? That's not who I am. When I told you I was born into that. Many people won't say what their bloodline looks like. I'm told I have to tell what my bloodline looks like. I was born into evil families. I was born to families who didn't love me, who didn't know how to treat me, who fumbled me. They don't even know what that word witchcraft really means. All they know is what they're hearing and what they think they know. Do your homework. Satan is evil. And if you're operating in unforgiveness, if you're operating in lies, you are a liar every time you open your mouth. If you're operating in hate, every time you see someone, or if you see someone and they're not like you, or they don't look like you, they don't look right. Sure, I don't know. They don't act like us. They don't dress like us. We are born uniquely, one of a kind, individual on purpose. Each one of us got our own style. Each one of us got our own swag. Each one of us looks the way God wants us to look, not the way man wants us to look. Man rejects us. God doesn't. Rejected. But God chose us. But chosen by God. Rejected. But chosen by God. Guys, follow me on social media. Check out my YouTube channels, Morgan Reese Life Speaker, and Get One of Black People podcast show. Follow me on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm giving hope to who I can. Healing. This is a healing journey for us to walk in our purpose. We all have a purpose, and a lot of us is not walking in our purpose because we were rejected. A lot of us not walking in our calling because we were mistreated, because we were hurt by somebody, and we were refusing to forgive. Even if we don't have no connection with them no more, you can still choose to forgive. Rejected, but chosen by God. A lot of people are walking on the earth with a lot of rejection. Someone did not love them the right way. Someone did not treat them the right way. You're in a relationship and the relationship didn't last, didn't work out the way you want. So then every relationship you're getting, you're looking for that. When God said, I gave them to you, but you rejected them. I gave him to you, but you rejected it. I gave her to you, but you rejected it. I saw your heart. I heard your heart. And I gave you what your heart's desire was. That's why I said, God, give me my heart's desire. Every time I pray, see my heart, hear my heart. So you know my intentions. I have no ulterior motive. If I tell you I love you, even after you rejected me, that means I truly still love you, even after you rejected me. If I tell you you're still my brother and my sister, even if you don't want me to be your brother or sister, I mean, you're still my brother and my sister. It's time for us to get our healing. A lot of people are walking around because they were rejected. And this is from a person who has been rejected all her life. I was the black sheep. I still am the black sheep. But it didn't change my heart. It didn't change who I was, who I am. Everything you see is genuine because I have the heart of Lord of Christ. Every time I pray, I said, give me the heart of your son. And Jesus loved us all. And tomorrow is Resurrection Sunday. Take off your mask, man. Be real. You're going to the house of prayer. That's not even the same place. And when you're going to church, it's not even the same church anymore. Look at their hearts. They're in the pulpits preaching the same message every week. And you still ain't changed. You still ain't getting no better. You still walk out the door with whatever that message was, and you dropped it on the side of the curb because you were rejected. Because they were rejected. It's time for us to get our hearts and minds together because, Lord God, I promise you, things is about to change on this earth sooner rather than later. Things are not going to be the same on this earth sooner rather than later. They rejected you, but God chose you. Walk in your calling. You chosen by God. You chosen by the best thing since sliced bread and peanut butter and jelly. It's their loss because they refused your heart. It's their loss because they rejected your love. It's their loss because they rejected your forgiveness. It's their loss because they rejected you. God didn't reject you. Guys, follow me on social media. Follow me on my YouTube channel. Good Morning Black People Again podcast show. Morgan Reese Life Speaker. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. Think about what you need to get healing from because we all need to get healed. There's no such thing as I don't need no help. We all need help. I don't need no healing, but you got to want it. You know why Morgan Reese is the way she is? Because I wanted the healing. I know I needed the healing. I know I needed the help. And the only person that can help me is him. God is the only person that can help me. Not no man, not no woman, not my parents, not my children, only him. You got to want to be healed. You got to want to go to the next level. You're going to stay in this roller coaster ride, in this loop of not going to the places, higher heights and deeper depths that he has for us, all because they rejected you. Remember, rejected, but chosen by God. Have a blessed weekend and be blessed.